Mix.
Yo.
Dude, we ain't doing no robo dive yet. Alright. Alright, so same thing as before, guys. So what we're just gonna do, Sombra's gonna push in, right? We're gonna do a little dance setup, let her move in. And then I'm gonna leap in through the window, kind of situation like we did last time, right? Take that high ground. And then we're gonna push it from there, see if we can either to move from the choke to make an opening for supports. Or if they let us have it, then hell, we can just stay from there and then leap into the back line. Remember, we're playing for that Nano Blade.
Yep. Looks like no pre-fight spam. Don't see anyone in the window yet.
Wait, they're all up there. They're all up there. They have a Torb up there with a turret.
Good turret. McCree left side top.
That thing right here.
What?
There's a. Oh no, they moved the turret. They moved the turret. And they have a McCree. Alright, Div, you ready to follow me? You ready?
Yeah.
Going in.
Sorry, I slept.
Right hack, right hack, right hack.
Yep. Torb low, Torb down, Torb turret down. I'm walking first point. I'm touching point.
It's almost free. Ryan at choke.
I'm out of back.
Sorry, no sleep.
Sorry, low. Sorry, you're dead.
3 down.
Sorry,
Ryan coded.
Anna's right here. Anna's here. We can stagger her. Oh.
Alright.
So I'm a little bloodthirsty.
Yeah. Well, you got that with your fight. Got that there.
Alright.
Zen, can you heal me a little bit?
Farah now. Yeah, Farah inside.
Yep.
Farah's just like middle top. They have Brig, yeah.
Got it. Let's come mid and then we'll leap on their backline when we see it. Genji, can we get some recon?
Okay. Farah's right on point.
First court.
Careful, heal up.
Give me a few seconds to get my back.
Ryan's
got it.
top right.
We're waiting for mech and then we can engage.
Looks like a bunch of, like, pretty much all the mechs stuck right.
Alright, yo, let's just build up some ultimates. I'm going up there. Follow me, Genji. Just be safe. Play safe. Play safe.
Coming up. Oh shoot, fair enough.
Ryan coded. Ryan coded. Ryan drop.
I'm
Ryan
good.
drop.
I'm good. I'm contesting on
Oh,
point.
McCree drop and flash us.
Alright, don't use anything. Don't use anything.
Oh, no.
Nice. Good job.
Building ult.
You only have Zen healing?
Sorry coded. Sorry right side.
There's dead.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
There's a Briggy on me. She's
No,
coded.
there's a wave. Reset.
Down.
Yep. I almost have blade.
Okay, we have transfer graph now. They're gonna have ultimates here, but we do have EMP, and we just need what 10% more till blade.
Yep. We're also 85 to.
Could you take a little damage so I can heal you?
Ryan's on top. Farah's.
So I can build nano?
You're good. Let her take some damage. So you can wake up.
She didn't take any damage.
They use rally.
Yeah, it's fine. We can wait. We'll just wait on rallies because we're not gonna be very.
McCree, it's like center. When you're going under.
Let's take a trash fight. Here and get that on. Alright, I'm going up.
Free half.
Nice.
Sorry coded.
Oh my.
Fair coded.
We lost 2 people.
Got it.
Three coded and main.
Main. Alright, I'm just gonna get out.
Might be ready to back out just ASAP.
Yep, I'm backing out.
Oh, we got 5. We got 5 ults.
We got our combo.
Left window.
Got it. Yo, Diva, push up top with me. We want him to come top right. Sombra, Sombra, whenever you're ready, whenever you call it, and Genji, be ready for that blade. Be in line of sight. You ready?
I'll be hanging in the back.
Let me know where you're set up.
No sleep.
5
I'm on
seconds.
sleep.
Alright, we're walking in. Here we go.
You guys ready?
Ryan coded.
Yep, I'm walking up. Ready.
Shatter.
Yep.
Ready,
Nice. Go. Zarya. Zarya low.
Down.
Hey, McCree on me. This one.
Fight on point. Let's get the points.
Ryan's low.
Ana. Nice.
Nice.
Break.
Break.
Free 1.
Nice. 3. Get the tick. Nice. I don't know if you can get the second one. Nice.
Diva left. Diva tracer left.
Grand is coming in. Play safe. Careful. Above. Nice.
Run anti.
Run one.
Right. Move down. Diva.
Break down.
Tracer.
Lucio.
Hey, back up a little bit, Zen. I can heal. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, they got me.
Make coded.
We'll attack Brig. Let's not.
Okay.
Briggy left side, Briggy left side. Briggy corner.
Right by yourself. Right above.
Winston on sleeping and behind me.
Brig,
On
Brig,
high ground?
Brig,
Break down.
Dead, Brig dead.
Tracer, Tracer, Tracer.
Nice.
Lucio.
Nice.
Lucky.
Monkey.
Wait.
Wait. The ball. May first. Now ball.
Fall corner.
Nice.
Lucio.
Just behind. Whoa.
Nice. Who's on point now?
Monkey.
Okay.
Same point. Nice.
Nice job, guys.
D9. Nice job, though. Alright. Dotes?
Yes, dotes for our defense.
I want to see it. Sorry. It works so well, especially with us anyway.
I still remember that.
Do you want Moira or Ana?
Ana first. So what we want is as they come in, if
Wait,
they
we might need a Lucio though. Like
Yeah,
just so we can engage faster.
Yeah, Lucio is kind of necessary here. Sorry.
Yep.
Next to D Lucio.
So who's gonna be a Lucio?
Resgun?
Oh, you want me to Lucio?
Yeah. Dexter. I'm sorry. I don't know why I didn't know people's names anymore. Yep.
Do you want me to
Mexican?
switch? Like,
No.
do you
I want Mexican go Zarya, and then we're.
Then who? Okay, so we're using Lucio.
Yeah, we got Lucio and everything. We're good to go.
Okay.
Stop. Alright, same plan.
Yep. Diva, can you chill right here just for a second? Yeah, and just do a little recon whenever you can. Actually, you can do it from wherever you get the best line of sight. So anybody not familiar, right? So as they transition in, if the backline splits off, I'm gonna go drop down. I'm gonna bubble them off, and we should be able to quickly engage with speed to finish that backline individual. Yep. In fact, I'll make it easy. Right there on the peanut butter.
Lucio. Zen. Genji.
Oh shit, I fell.
Ana.
Careful. Let him come in. Nice. There's the Ana. Let the Ana and the Zen come in. Ready? Alright, let's go. Let's walk. Keep transitioning. I'm on the Ana.
Widow, they have a Widow main.
Got it.
Ana no day.
Zarya. No,
Ana
push.
Ana's dead.
Got it. Right now.
Sorry, one for Dega.
Zarya low.
They have Widow. One for
Widow.
They have Widow on main.
Sorry,
Alright, what's the plan? Stick to Dotes?
Yep. We can have Mexican switch to Widow if things start getting a little bit ugly.
We got a position relatively close. I'd say right on top of.
Widow right side.
Widow right side. Yep, I see her. I can't chase. No, she's grapple. She's out.
Top left.
I'm not sure what that Genji. I'm pretty sure he's close to Blaze. So let's be aware that. Save your stun for it if you can. Yep. I'm coming up. Play together. Genji.
Widow top right.
Widow on top.
I can't get it.
She's down.
Nice.
Run. Oh,
Nice. Right.
Maybe.
what's up? He's
Widow,
on me.
Widow,
He's on
Widow,
stairs.
Right.
He's one.
Fight on point. Big Genji's one. Don't worry about him. I got him. Then down. Right down.
Widow top right quarter. She's half. Zarya on point.
Just go in. I have armor.
Very nice.
Watch out, Widow. Wait, are we still gonna stick to this? Wait, no, they just blew a bunch
Yeah.
of
They used Blade. What else did they use? Shatter. Did they?
I don't know if they did.
Got it.
They're probably coming with a
Widow looking out that like
Nano Blade.
parallel.
No, they just
They just used Blade. So
Okay.
they're gonna nano if they're gonna use it. Grav is the big killer.
Healer Diva on right side.
Right.
Watch for Widow.
Minion. Diva.
Yep, they're coming to point.
They're moving in.
I can grab here. Yep, whenever. Nice. Then down. It's free.
It's on right.
Nice, nothing else.
Widow's on me. Widow's top right.
Just take cover. Just take cover.
Fine.
We're good. I hear Widow, see grapple. Careful, back up, Fitzy. Let her come in. Nice job, guys.
I have rally.
So they're gonna have Transcendence. Impossible sights. And they still have grab. Grab again.
no,
Hold
so
it
not
together.
taking
Top left.
Yeah, top.
Call out the anti.
Genji behind you.
Hit your right side.
Thank you.
Yep, Genji's top right window.
Yep.
They're moving up.
Ryan top of it. Ryan corded. No bubble.
Rally it.
Scattered off.
Sorry.
Sorry, one.
Got it.
Dead.
Dead down.
Where's Widow? I hear her,
Stairs,
but I don't know where.
stairs, bottom stairs.
Yeah. Let her stagger. She can't go anywhere.
Actually, that was just me.
Okay, we used a lot there.
Alright, no, let's count off what would we use?
They
grab.
pushed the fair. They just pushed the fair.
Okay, so that's a reset. They just grabbed. Did they Transcendence?
No, we did.
No.
Okay, they're probably gonna build up towards Nano Blade is what they're building up. Same
Top
thing.
left. The top left.
We're gonna beat the blade with bomb. Just use the bomb, and then everybody go towards bomb.
Sorry, I'm
Main, Zarya main. No personal.
Yep.
Fair, right side, top right, corded.
I heard. I'm here. She can't get away.
Point.
Right. Jump up point whenever.
Genji.
Yep.
Genji corded.
I see the Genji. Genji no dash.
Ryan corded.
Get Francie. Everybody on point. Everybody on point.
Zarya, nice.
Nice.
I'm gonna no nade.
Ryan.
Nice dead.
Dead.
That's dead. Get on top.
He's fine. He's corded. He's half.
On a port.
Fair corded.
Fair's dead.
Okay,
Alright, set up a stage on high ground again. Stage on high ground.
30 to rally.
So they bladed. They went Bastion and May. Okay. Nope.
No,
Diva.
they're going back to me.
Bastion and Diva. They're diving.
Yep. They're diving with the Bastion.
Watch for Zen lingering.
Let me know when the Bastion is discorded. That's the only time we're
We're
gonna
going
try to hit
top
them, right? They're gonna try to set up that Bastion. Is what they're gonna do. Yep. I'm not gonna be mid. Don't be mid. He's gonna come out to the open. Here they come. They're coming. Top right.
Corded. He's half.
I'm not peeking that. No, that's bait. Careful. They have no bubble. No anti.
Zenny corded.
Back up, Joe, back up.
There's
Yeah,
a
I'm
right
back in.
to dash.
There's a Bastion.
Genji down. Bastion corded.
Wait.
Monkey on me.
Keep playing. Play the window. Play the window.
I have rally.
I don't know, fleet.
Monkey corded.
No DM, careful.
And a no nade. They remax. Was that our remax or theirs?
It's on the basket.
That was theirs.
I have chance.
They have no bubble.
Transcendence with the blade, please, and then we can beat drop for what are we gonna beat drop for? Either primal or I'm thinking the Bastion ult.
They're top left.
Watch out,
Oh, back up.
Just let him come to us.
Transient.
Oh,
Nice.
fuck.
Get you low.
Nice. Yeah, help me with the Bastion. Setting up.
He's corded.
Nice.
Monkey corded.
Go monkey.
Keep it low.
Nice. Who's left?
We should have communicated before who was gonna use first.
And I just
It's on grab.
We have
Put
grab.
Ash now instead of Genji.
No, they went McCree.
Let's make. And they gave the Bastion for break. They're going super McCree with dive. Let's make sure we focus on D-Mech and the Diva. Yep. Make sure we gotta do successful grab off. They're going up top again.
Whenever I have to walk, I grab the wall. Want to go upstairs?
Got it. Let him come in. Watch for the flash.
Just let me know.
Got it. Yo, they're right here.
Monkey on me. Monkey corded. Down. They nanoed it.
Back it up.
Yep. Trying to back them up.
On the top point.
On the Diva.
McCree's one. Absolute in hallway.
Monkey Gordon.
Going ball for stall,
Gordon.
going ball for
Diva,
stall.
diva, 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 diva.
Diva low, diva low, diva one.
low. Monkey, 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 monkey. Monkey.
Monkey low, monkey low, monkey
Get
low,
that,
monkey low.
down in bubble.
Good down.
Nice.
Baby, baby, baby.
Monkey's done, monkey's done.
Nice.
On the left side.
Monkey, 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 monkey.
I heard.
Monkey low, monkey low, monkey one.
Prancing.
Monkey one, monkey still one. Please, kill monkey, kill monkey.
Okay,
We're good. No panic. We're good. Nice job, team. Nice job.
Nice.
Nice. Good job.
Nicely done, guys. That was really good.
I may or may not have messed up on my graph.
Do they want?
Oh yeah, carry on.
Do they want another map or?
It should. Give me one.
How much time do you have, Pete?
I can do another map. It's 3:35 a.m. here, so it might not be the best quality, but
Hey, GL, can we get Ryan in here to play with Resgun?
Nice.
Yes, we please. Can we swap minion for
Since this is Pete's
for league?
last match.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete, if you don't mind, please have a nice
we
focus
want
on the two
Pete to
healers.
destroy you. Just kidding.
Yep.
Let's see here.
Let me see what they're.
I might not be able to stay for the whole map, so I can turn on the
Oh wait,
settings.
they're leaving.
Yeah, they're leaving.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it was set till 10, but I guess they had enough.
Well, don't feel bad about scrim partners like this because
They were so rude. No man, no.
Yeah.
it's whatever. Like you should. Is it hard to find scrims?
No, it's not.
Not
Okay, then just cancel with guys like this and blacklist them. Have like a list where you have like blacklists because it's just waste of time for both parties, and it's very common, for I guess I'm not sure if they're kids or not, but kids usually who scrim aren't patient. So, anyways, in OWL and contenders, etc., it's very common to take 5-minute breaks between maps. You don't really lose anything. I have some feedback here for Hanamura. First point attack was really good, everything. Second point, Bear was low on point, and we were just waiting in choke. I'd want to see you like engage on that fire because you're not gonna jump the tanks anyways. And just play quicker. Why not jump her though? Like it's important to ask why. At 6:30, the plan was let's jump the backline, but we jumped the Reinhardt. And there was no well, I asked these questions rhetorically, but was there a 3-2-1 call before jumping? It doesn't have to be a slow 3-2-1, but quick 3-2-1, just to make sure that Sombra is ready with the finger on cue when the Winston lands, and so that the Genji can dash through everyone and start blading or bomb to come in. At 4:39, EMP comes out, but no bomb. That's when we use Genji Blade. And all we need to do is, well, we didn't need a bomb, but EMP plus bomb is pretty good while blading. And all you need is one big wipe on 2CP. However, you guys did pretty fine and you had a great target focus. For defense, first point, 3:39, plan was let them walk in. Then we target Anna. We could see that they had a Zen and a Widow. They are much more important, in my opinion, than an Anna because Widow has burst damage and we're playing dive, and there's a Discord for Monkey and Diva to melt them. And second point,
They were also in the position that we normally dive when we run that.
Yeah, usually you have Winston on the like circle thing on the gate so that you can just drop on them when they walk in. That way you don't have to make these easy to read jumps, and you have a Diva somewhere like behind the house. Which house? I'm talking about dojo. If you attack and then go right, that's the dojo. But outside of that house, just to be quick with the boost turn matrix. Otherwise, D.Va has to travel for ages as well. Then, yeah, for second point, there was a great anti-snowball fight, plus a second fight. At 2:30, when they had the Bastion, how come you guys want to push into the Bastion? Because there's only Winston that has a shield, and D.Va doesn't protect him versus stuns. At 1:34, we overlapped Beat plus Trance versus Blade plus Primal. And yeah, we realized it was something we should have communicated, and it's pretty good that you guys realized it. Other than that, great comms, and yeah, Hanamura went pretty well.
Nice.
All right, nice.
So do you guys
I
have
was
any questions yourselves? Oh, sorry. Before.
No, I was saying, I was afraid it's gonna be a lot worse because it's the last map. They're gonna tear into us.
No, don't worry about that.
Right.
Like, I know I dumped quite a lot of info, but I wanted to make it useful for you guys, and I hope I didn't make anyone shy or.
Not at all. Not at
No.
all.
Well,
A little bit. Not gonna lie.
yeah.
Just a tad.
Just a tad.
Yeah, like you guys did fine.
I just
I
think we
did.
were playing a little bit tense instead of like loose like how we normally are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like,
First
that's-
map, I was definitely tense.
Shaking. I was shaking. I'm sorry.
I'll put it like this. Here's a question that I have. So you saw a couple of games. Was there a trend of something that you saw that you really didn't like that maybe that's something you think we could work on kind of situation?
Yeah, there were a couple ones. The most apparent one is when you're on Winston and you're jumping without telling the team where you're jumping, when, and who you're on, especially when you're primaling, because there's nothing harder than to coordinate with a Winston that's silent. And I totally understand why you're silent. It's because of focusing and all that. And it's a habit that, like OG, for example, he had that trouble with talking what he's doing when he was on Winston because of yeah, just not being used to it. And it happens to every Winston almost early on. So just mention what you're about to do and get into the habit of doing that, because then it's super easy for your DPS to follow and your off tank to follow, your supports to expect where you're gonna be, etc. Then for the comms for ults, you guys call out the comms sometimes. No, I mean call out the enemy ults, but it's not always that you set up for what ults you want to use very quickly. Like do it in the spawn room while you're dead, and while you're walking back to a choke, and try to make it like a checklist so that you
Yeah.
cross off everything as quick as possible. And
Okay.
the best way to do that, in my opinion, is list what ults they used, what ults you have, and then you can do the analysis of what we can use, etc. Because then it's all out in the open, and we can help each other to make combos, etc. There was also a trend of after capping, for example, Numbani second point, Hanamura's first point. Whenever you push up really far up, you tend to get blocked by an invisible wall, and then either fall back if they engage or wait until it has passed like 10 seconds or so, and you've been analyzing the situation long enough, and then you already have a plan, but sort of switch the plan without mentioning it, like going for Ryan on Hanamura for the second point when the plan was to go for the backline. And now I understand you can't go for the backline when they're all playing up there, but there was no mentioning of jumping Ryan, for example. And that's the most apparent trends.
Any positive ones?
You guys keep telling each other, good job, you don't tilt, you keep the comms up, and you give each other feedback as well, like that. Like, for example, I think Minion said it, listen to your Anna when you need help, or when she needs help, I mean. Like, that's a great piece of feedback.
Thanks, Minion.
Thank you, Minion.
You're welcome. Tom.
No.
No claps, no claps.
Is it alright to send a document in general, or do you want me to send it anywhere else?
Can you send? Yeah, send it to myself or to Mexican, the top two up there, and then I'll post it in our private team documents.
Yeah, I was assuming that because of randoms in the Discord. I'm not
Yep.
sure if it's randoms, but yeah.
Wait, Peek, I have a quick question. So
Yeah, sure.
along the line of you were saying that, yeah, we are keeping alt tracks of the enemy. However, our response of what we are gonna use in terms of our alts to counter that, how would you suggest us to practice that, and how do you go about doing that?
Wait. Well, it's I just noticed Pervy Snowman is streaming on Twitch, so it's like public to everyone. Do it on YouTube
Turn it off.
and on private. That way, no one can see your screams. But yeah, could you repeat the end?
So my question is, you want us to practice more in terms of preparing and using our ults to counter what we just called out, what the enemies is going to use or what they have. How do we go about practicing that? Because you mentioned do it in spawn, but most of the time we're just kind of like, okay, I'm just coming out of spawn and blank.
Okay, so when you just died, you gotta like recap what just happened, of course. And if you press tab, you can just see, look at who's on fire. Try to remember what ults that were used that you saw, but also heard. I feel like it's really easy to remember ults if you listen to them, like the sound cues compared to watching, because sometimes, like, I'm staring at my screen, but I can only see very small parts of my screen or remember small parts. And if I hear instead like Genji ult or Sombra ult, I don't even need to see to remember it. And the on fire also tells you if an enemy has something to come back with or if they really performed well in the last fight. And so to then connect it with an answer to your question, you just have to set like a goal. For example, let's say for this scrim you could have had the goal of, let's try to count their ults plus make counters, or try to make counters 50% of the cases. And then when you look back into the VOD, you just count how many times you actually did it, and then you try to reach that, maintain that, or improve that next time, basically. And you just have to keep in mind that if you don't do it and you catch yourself not doing it, remind yourself of what you need to do. For example, press tab while you're dead, because there's a 8 second to 10 second respawn timer. It's actually 10 seconds. And if you forget to do that and you press tab while you're running out, try to list your ults at least before then reaching the choke, because then you can set up like a win condition. For example, if you don't know their enemy ults, but you have Nanoblade usually wins against pretty much everything. And all you have to do then is press tab, say we have this, that, Nano and Blade. Let's use Nanoblade. And if you have time, you can talk about special case scenarios, like if they use beat for that, we can use bomb, something like bomb after beat. If there's time before the fight or the push starts, because you don't want to spend half a minute or a minute analyzing the fight that's about to come when you're sitting in the choke. Is that a good answer?
And should everyone be doing that, or have just, I don't know, 2 or 3 people do that, or
it doesn't hurt if everyone does it, because everyone should be able to do it, because everyone can press tab and everyone can, try to keep track of something. For example, if you're playing Tracer, it's very hard to keep track of ults because of having to focus on your mechanics while fighting, so you might not notice. But if you're playing D.Va, for example, you can keep track of the enemy D.Va ult. that's pretty easy because you can estimate how much damage the enemy diva did compared to how much damage you did, and then sort of gauge their ult gain, or if they have used ult but did insane damage after the ult and got a new bomb basically. And the same can Genji do, Ryan can do that, Winston can do that on a one-to-one basis. But then I'd say like everyone can help each other. You know, there's no need to limit it to one or two persons only.
Okay.
All right, so quick question.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're saying like we are too slow just to like initiate. So what would the steps exactly be to make our initiations quicker?
So as you, for example, capping first point on Hanamura, as you're capping it and you're moving to the choke, while you're moving to the choke, you gotta decide step one, do we want to go high ground or low ground? And then step two, what do we want if we want to go low ground? Do we want to fight on point or use jumps? And then step three, well, there's no real like steps like that, but in terms of logic, that's how I think. If we use jumps on high ground, what do we need to win a fight on high ground? Well, we need some old combo like EMP plus bomb or beat or whatever. If we go low ground on point, enemies are gonna drop on us. What do we need to fight on point? Well, probably beat some defensive ult. Who knows? It depends on what ults they have, of course. But if you have win conditions, like you just wipe them completely and you have Nano Blade, you have some form of ult combo, and they don't, you want to set up a push that can snowball with that ult combo and kill them quickly. If you don't have ults and they don't either, then you just take a trash fight, try to get a pick, try to build ults, and if you happen to get a pick and it means that you can keep the fight going, try to gamble on a snowball, then you just use whatever ults that come up. And I'm not sure what type of steps you were thinking of, but that's all you need to do. You need to establish like win conditions in the next fight. Is it worth to use ults? If not, then yeah, trash fight, and you just run in. There's no point in waiting because it doesn't matter if anyone dies.
Gotcha.
Anyone who wants to ask anything else?
I had a quick question about some of the VOD reviews. A lot of us have been starting to send and are just, do you mind? We really enjoy the analysis, so a lot of us have started posting them, but I know like we don't want to monopolize your time by any means either.
Oh, it's all cool. It's all cool. I might not always be able to do them if they are like in a row, because I want to give everyone the chance. Yeah. And if that happens, you can always just resubmit if I end up passing a VOD, because to me, I don't mean anything personal when I pass, because I would love to do everyone's VOD, but I know I can't scale this with more viewers, for example, and I don't want to give false hopes, early on, or turn hopes to false hopes later on. I mean,
right, that makes sense.
Wait, so following that line, it was done inadvertently. So I think my video and Gio's video might be reviewed on the same day. If that's the case, would it be okay if you put me on like Wednesday instead of Monday, and you could review Gio first?
I can do that.
Okay.
I'll try to write down a note for it. I'll probably notice it anyways. Sometimes I end up doing multiple VODs of the same team, or if it's few VODs that I have in line. But sometimes I don't even notice it's the same team. But yeah, if I do
Yeah.
notice, I'll just
Sorry.
postpone. It's
Don't
all cool.
notice.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So Gio, you're on Monday. Just
Right.
so
Okay.
you know.
Awesome.
Just one question. Peak. Would you say it's worth investing Blade into, let's say, a 5v6 if there's an opportunity to, let's say, carry it on? Like, I've seen, I believe specifically Shadowburn do this a lot. Like once someone's knocked down, like it comes at them. It comes at the enemy team, putting themselves in a very weird position. Do you think it's worth it to invest Blade to salvage that fight?
If you have nano, I'd say yeah. If not, I'd say no. Like Shadowburn is a special case because
Oh well, yeah, he's Shadowburn, but
he's only like, well, there's a stigma that he's like a Genji one trick. He essentially is, but he's extremely good at Genji. So like he does blades without thinking about it. Like it's automatic. Like that's how much
subconscious.
he has practiced it so much, and he just goes with the feeling. Like this is a good blade, and I would advise to not go for that if you haven't reached that level of Genji yourself, basically, or any hero.
Of course.
It's better to use something to support the Genji blade. Well, if they have stuns and stuff, then it's kind of dangerous. Like you can still do it, but Genji is really easy to kill, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even if nano bladed, like if 6 people focus him properly, then he's dead. And yeah, if there's beat, if there's trance, if there's nano, you can pop that to try and win the fight. That's enough, in my opinion.
Okay, so summarized, it's fine to blade in a 5v6, just do it with support.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Or if Genji can stay alive.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Any other questions while we still got them?
That's it for me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Peak.
Anything from the tryouts who participated? Any questions you guys might have?
Better
It's
ask.
nice.
He's only hit once.
Yeah, he's only hit it once, guys.
Dude.
Is that true?
Have anything.
Yeah, I
Oh,
played
actually,
Lucio,
I've got one.
so I don't play him very often.
Yeah, yeah, I do have one. Like, on Hanamura, second point, like, when I was recording it, I did actually make a small note that the Lucio